Well, hello there. This is Preacher Man Piper. Yep, Doc Hatfield. How y'all doing this evening? I'm filling up my Rossi. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. This is a Savinelli Rossi Vittoria. I think that's how you say it, but if that ain't, that's close enough for government work, isn't it? Yeah, well, anything's close enough for government work. Crying out loud. Filled it up with Carter Hall. Carter Hall is one of my favorites. I've smoked it for more years than Carter's got liver pills, and most of you don't even know what that means. But anyway, for a long, long time. Another one I like is Velvet. I like Velvet. Now I know that's not going to help not a nary one of you rest any better knowing that I like Carter Hall or Velvet. But I don't ever hardly talk about the pipe. So I wanted to start out tonight talking to you a little bit about what I've come to get out of smoking a pipe. I mean, I've told everybody that I smoke a pipe so I don't have those ulcers. But the one thing that I found out about a pipe, or the one thing that a pipe has done for me, is helped me to slow down and to think a little bit, you know. Sitting around just talking on a pipe, especially when you're a writer like I am, it just helps you to slow down and think about what you're writing. And you know, when that happens, then things come to you to write. Ideas come, and then uh, uh, you begin to formulate things to write, and so that helps a lot. But not only that, it gives you something to do. You know, when you're just sitting around, like I am in a power wheelchair all day long and all night long, uh, it gives you something to do to pick out the tobacco you want to pick out the pipe you want to smoke, pick out the tamper you want to use, the lighter you're going to light it with, and then you fill your pipe, and then you light your pipe, and it just gives you something to do. Kind of takes away the monotony of things a lot. But it also is a focusing tool that I've noticed. It helps me to focus on things that I've been thinking about, on things that I'd like to do. And it helps you to calm yourself down. And helps you, like I say, with ideas, but it helps you to, I think it just helps you to concentrate. just a little bit better. So it's done a lot for me besides just keeping the ulcers out. It's done all that for me as well. But now I want to tell you a story about the bridge full of angels. Now, you heard me right, bridge full of angels. One day I got a phone call. I was in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I got a phone call from my dad. My dad lived down in Denison, Texas. And he asked me, he said, son, when you going to come for a visit? I said, well, when do you want me to come for a visit? He said, could you come tomorrow? I said, well, yeah. I said, I'll come down there tomorrow. Why? I've got a big problem. I said, well, I'll be down there. I'll get up in the morning, first thing, and head that way. So I did. I headed down there. It takes about 5 hours to get down there. And so I got down there, and what had happened was my dad's church had purchased a sound system, and the people who put the sound system in placed some big, god-awful looking speakers that was about 6 foot by 6 foot over in the corners down in the front. And he said, I want you to listen to this. And so he turned it on, and it was terrible. I mean, it was terrible. He said they took all of my speakers out, all in the back there, where the nurseries are, where the restrooms are, where the classrooms are, where the hallways are, where the offices are. They just took all of them out. And he said, and so I don't know what to do. And I said, well, the first thing we need to do is go get some material. So we went and we got the wire that we needed to get. And so now this was a 120 foot front to the back auditorium, and it was about 75 foot wide. So it was a big auditorium. And so I got up in that top of that crazy thing. Now I was a lot younger. Let me just tell you that I was a lot younger. I wasn't in a power chair at that time. I was fine. I was full of vim and vigor back then. That don't mean I looked any better, but I was still full of vim and vigor. And so anyway, I strung all the wires and everything and replaced all the speakers. And I took those 2 speakers out. And he said, well, the thing is, I've told them to come and get those speakers, and they won't come and get them. And he said, so if they don't come and get them in another week, I'm stuck with them. I said, well, we'll fix that. So I called that company up. They're over in another town, Sherman, Texas. And I called them up, and I said, hey, you need to come get these speakers out of this church. Well, we ain't had time. I said, well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm taking them out today. I'm going to set them out by the dumpster. Now, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take a sledgehammer to them, bust them up, burn them to a crisp, and throw them in the dumpster. That's what I'm going to do to them. If you don't come get them, I'm going to do that. I have to do it this weekend because I got to be back home Monday. So I said, you're going to have to do it now. I said, so if you don't want the speakers, that's fine, but the church ain't going to pay for them. They're a piece of junk. Can't get no sound out of them with a flip. And he said, well, who are you? I said, I'm the pastor's son. And so they said, oh, well, we might come and get them Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, no. You're going to come and get them now. You're going to come get them now. I'm going to bust them up before I leave. Well, guess what? They come and got the speakers. When I got done with that sound system, I told my dad, I said, you go all the way to the back of the auditorium, go all the way back. He went all the way back to the auditorium. His music director was there and a couple other people was there. I said, y'all just stand back there and talk among yourselves. And so I whispered. I was about as far from the microphone as I am from the screen that I'm on right now. And I said, repeat after me. The brown cow gave red milk. And they started laughing. And they said, the brown cow gave red milk. I said, there we go. You got a good sound now. Went through all the other places out in the back and in the vestibule, and it was just perfect from there on. So I fixed all that up for him. Well, then I preached for him on Sunday morning. Well, on Sunday evening, I said, Dad, I said, we got to go. And so me and the person I was with, we left. Now, we left coming back up through Oklahoma, and we get up to a little old town called McAllister. Well, when you got out of McAllister, you could see, because you was kind of up on a hill, you could see all the way over. You could see an S-shaped highway. It went like this, and then there was a concrete bridge, and then it went up the hill and over. Well, as we got up there, it was just getting dark. And as we come out of McAllister, we looked up there and we saw a patrolman up there, and his lights was flashing. I said, well, he must have stopped somebody up there. So anyway, we come out and we come around, and when we did, all of a sudden we seen this other vehicle make a beeline toward us. And he was right in the middle of the road. And so I told the person that was driving, I said, look, pull over a little bit. We're right up there at the bridge. We're right at the bridge. And I said, pull over a little bit. I said, them people are drunker than skunk, got to be driving in the middle of the road. I saw the highway patrolman get out of his car. This pickup was barreling down the highway, coming down that hill. And, of course, it was nighttime. He had his headlights on. And all of a sudden, one of his headlights disappeared. Just disappeared. That truck hit the concrete walls on each side of the bridge, was concrete walls, hit that concrete wall and just kept coming. And then all of a sudden, it just fell off the bridge. And I thought, what in the world's going on? And then about that time, I saw millions of lights out in the air. I took a breath, and it just burned like fire. I mean, burned like fire in my throat. And I thought, what in the world? Well, what it had done, it had the gas tank of that truck had bursted, and the fluid just flew up, and because it was so fast and everything, it was just little sparkles of fire. And, of course, they were going out as fast, and then all of a sudden it dissipated, and here comes the patrolman. And so I come up to him, and he said to me, who are you? I said, I'm Evangelist J.D. Hatfield. Who are you? And he said, whatever his name was, I can't remember, it's been so many years ago. And he said, but who are you? What are you? I said, I'm an evangelist. I'm an evangelist. And he said, well, didn't you see that? Didn't you see it? I said, well, I saw the headlights disappear. Then I saw the truck fall off the bridge. But you didn't see them? You didn't see them? There were hundreds of angels. He said, I saw them. Hundreds of angels. Said that thing got down there close to that bridge, and the angels just pushed on that side, on this side of the truck, and pushed it over. So it would hit that concrete block and stop. But said it just kept coming. So when it kept coming, said they all looked at you, and then they all just pushed the truck off of the bridge. I said, you're kidding. And he said, I'm lying if I'm dying, and I'm not dying. He said, I'm telling you the truth. He said, you've got to be someone special. Started to cry. I said, well, let's go see about them fellas. So we went down. He went down on one side. I went down on the other end. And when we got down there, two of the boys had been thrown out of the truck. One was on one side of the little creek. One was on the other side of the little creek. And the guy that was driving had hit a light pole. That light pole flew up in the air, come back down, went through the top of that truck, and went right down the back of that driver. And that light pole was all the way down in his back. Of course, he was dead on the door now. The other two were still alive, but they died before they even got up and got into the ambulance. They died. And so afterwards, he said to me, you have to be someone special. I said, why do I have to be someone special? Why would God do that? Why would God intervene in such a dramatic way as to literally have angels push the truck off? He said, they probably stood 10, 12 foot tall. Said they were tall. They were big. And said, after they pushed it off, they all looked at you and said then they kind of shook their head yes, and said they just floated away. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I do know that I'm going back to take care of a situation that I know the devil don't want me to take care of, and he might have been sending them guys down with that truck to get rid of me. I said, but if God wants me to take care of it, he took care of it all right. And so whenever I got home and I took care of all the situation and everything turned out wonderful, I knew that God had intervened. Now, I don't normally tell stories like this because most people don't believe them, but I can't help that. I can't help that. But I'm here to tell you today that because of a bridge full of angels, I'm sitting before you today. Well, that's another story in my life, and so until we see each other again, I pray the good Lord to take care of you, watch over you, pour his grace out upon you. He'll help you supply every need and help you take care of every circumstance. And I want you to think about the things that I said about a pipe and see if those things don't apply to you. Okay? And in the meantime, load you up a pipe, light a pipe, and enjoy. Bye-bye.